This is a presentation made by Inés Fels, Nicolas Pedrosa, and Tomás Cotado, and we'll be presenting the World Trade Organization, also known as the WTO. The WTO is an IGO that was founded in 1995, which searches to promote free trade through organizing trade negotiations and also act as an independent arbiter in settling trade disputes. The WTO has five main ideals. First, it promotes free trade. Second, it provides legal framework for negotiations. Third, it incentivizes trade without discrimination. Fourth, it is committed to protecting fair competition. And fifth, it is committed to economic development. A global affair today that involves the WTO is the China and USA trade war. Both are the biggest economies in the world and have been trade partners for a long time. However, last year, President Trump implemented a series of taxes from Chinese goods as he said that trade between both nations had become unequal. The trade is supposedly unfair as the USA spends 5 times more importing products from China than China does from importing products to the USA. This is the main reason for why Trump has engaged in this trade war with China. Some economists might say that the taxation put by Trump is unnecessary because even if the United States might lose monetarily to China, it gains a lot by receiving the advanced technology that is produced in China. China brought the WTO into the trade war as it is asking for 2.4 billion in retaliatory sanctions against the United States for breaking certain WTO laws. If the tariffs imposed by Trump aren't lifted, the WTO will most likely impose some sort of sanctions on the United States. The WTO can be seen as a success as over 160 members representing 98% of the world's trade are part of the organization. Also, we can find an increased number of trade disputes being brought to the WTO, showing how the organization is seen as a forum to helping solve conflicts. Due to WTO regulations and cooperations, we can see that in 2009, during the global recession, a major trade war was prevented. During the 1930s, we can see that in a similar situation, we found tariffs of 50%, while in the 2000s, the tariff was of 9%. Despite the benefits, we can see that the WTO tends to put the political and economic interests of global powers before those of developing countries. An example of this is that the WTO has failed to clarify deliberately ambiguous rules on concluding trade agreements. Another example of the ambiguous laws that WTO has can be found in negotiations between the EU and African countries. The African nations were forced to give up 90% of their tariffs on trade because there's no laws that were able to protect them from abusive negotiation. The WTO has pledged to make their legal system more accessible, however, has failed to do so. In 15 years, 400 cases have been initiated and only one has been from a developing nation. The law is supposed to be accessible for all, but however, it's only been utilized by the rich. Another way that the WTO can be criticized is its lack of help for poor nations. For example, when a severe flooding in Pakistan displaced 20 million people in 2010 and caused $10 billion of damage, WTO did not agree to implement temporary trade measures that would help the Pakistan.